Take 4. So one of the things about putting data into the lake is, or into the cloud storage, is basically the cloud storage itself can't be appended to. You can't add it to the end of it like a file. You can replace an object in cloud storage, or you can put a new one out there. And so if we're streaming data, we're taking click streams, we're taking log traffic, we're taking things that shouldn't be streamed, whatever we're doing. And we're going to stream those and put them in a lake, right? And we're going to use that, maybe sometimes we'll use that stream as the primary ingest mechanism. When we actually put the data in the lake or in cloud storage, it turns out we actually go back to batching, right? We call it micro batching, but really it's still batching. What we're going to, because of the way the data can't be appended, each time you're going to put more data in the lake, you have to create a new object. So that's essentially micro batch. I kind of did a little picture of this. So here you can see the right-hand side is Parquet. Could be Parquet, could be Orc. But basically the idea is here is I have a data set, or a data set, yeah, right? That is made up of multiple partitions, and each partition is going to be made up of multiple files. And so the idea here is, hey, we get a bunch of streaming data, and some kind of lake writer is actually going to aggregate that. And it'll aggregate it based on time or based on bytes, or both. So if it's super high volume, it may be by size, right? Like, hey, here's the log files for treasury.gov. I made that one up, but and so we're going to make those 100 megabytes. And so every time we get 100 megabytes, we're going to write a file out. If it's a lower volume, it may be by time. Hey, we're not going to wait longer than 5 minutes, and no data in the lake will be older than 5 minutes, because we're just going to stream it in, and then every 5 minutes we're going to batch it up. But what you end up with is batches of different sizes, or files of different sizes in each partition, and it's just batched, right? And they're small batches, so you don't have to really size it up, but really it is not truly streaming, landing in the lake. So yeah, and I'm going to do 2 other examples here. So we have a multi-channel stream, right? And in this case, these could be shards. So it could be a partitioned system where you can actually read from each of the partitions separately, so you can fan out, and you can scale up, right? Scale out, really. In this case, I have 2 lake writers, one on each shard. And so you can see that the files that go into the lake, the objects that are in the storage area, are actually still divided up by shard. It won't actually matter to the consumers, right? Because they're going to just read all the data, all the objects in that partition as if it's one giant table. Another way you can do that is you can do an aggregated writer. And let's scroll down a little bit so it's staying on the screen. So you can do an aggregated writer, and in this case, you're basically going to have a writer that pulls from all the shards, and it might be multi somehow and be doing a staging thing in a local directory or something. And then those shards would actually be intermixed back when they're put into the object store. Now you got to realize for both of these, there is, well, in the one before, the individual shards will be in order potentially if your streaming is in order and you don't blow anything up and you drop a message and then have to retry it, right? But if any of these are multi-threaded readers that are pulling from these shards or from the streams, or if you're doing the aggregated writer, then the order they're going to show up in the lake is just kind of arbitrary, the order that they are in the files, right? And I'll cover that in a different one. So I talked a little bit about this before. Basically what happens when you're going to set these up, so you're going to stream data into the lake and you're going to write some kind of lambda functionless function or something else, or an actual EMR job or the Spark cluster thing. You just got to decide what's important. Is it the latency and the batch size, like how you're going to balance those out? During low traffic periods, are you just going to put smaller files out there so that you're going to put a file out every 5 minutes or every couple minutes, right? The bigger the latency, the more batchy it feels. The trade-off, of course, also is if we have a high traffic, we might base it on batch size. And the goal is to have as few files in the object system as we can in a partition, but have as low latency as we require, right? Okay, so that's it. Really, like I said, the thing I was trying to cover here is when you're streaming data into cloud storage, you're really doing micro batching. And whether that has a real impact on you or not, you'll have to figure that out for your use case. Have a great day.